Hello there. How are you doing? I've missed you. Welcome to the conversations on NTA Network. This is a special edition. Why? Today we are talking back or maybe hearing from you. You've been watching, you've been sending us messages, we've been listening. Maybe you don't know we do. We get your messages, we listen to them, we read them, and sometimes we get back to you. Maybe we don't do that all the time. Today's edition is specially to take a look at all the wonderful feedbacks that you've been sending us. My name is Rita. Welcome to the conversations, and of course, how can I be alone and call it a conversation? Look at my couch. I have the people you hardly see on set. Backstage guys, right here in front of the camera, right? To my left, I have my beautiful big sister who says, look, you're late for the shoot. Hi, Lizzie.
Why are you reporting me now? On that flat.
We're just doing the needful. This is a special, so everything is allowed, right?
It's okay. It's my pleasure to be in front. Once in a while, I step in here.
Yeah.
But there is one that always running.
Suleiman is hardly in front of the camera.
Always running away.
And when I see his number, I'm like, okay, what day of the week is it? Are we recording tomorrow? Meet Mr. Suleiman. They hide behind the cameraman. I think that's a good title.
But you were saying something about Elizabeth. There was a day I came here late. I was not deliberately.
You were?
And then she was like, really, she had practically locked the door so that I don't have to enter inside.
Actually,
I should just go back to where I was coming from.
Action.
I said, hello.
It is wonderful how she gets to get us to do what we need to do when we should do it. And otherwise, you will tune in and you won't find the show. So we should thank her.
You know what happened? It's necessary we get that done because they say change begins with me.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ads says, no more African time.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and in television...
Not in the media. Not in the media at all.
In the television and radio and everything, you know, the viewer is tuning in at a particular time, and once that, you know, 1 minute is a lot of time. And if you go to the marketing department, they charge you for 1 minute. You're paying through your nose.
1,040,000.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So now you know the meaning of 1 minute, which is why we will not play around with it. Anyway.
Okay, Auntie. Like I said, today's edition is all about you. We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dig right into your messages and hear what you have to say. And maybe my ogas have answers for some of your questions. Stay right there.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take his pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start off the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh, you know.
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
Yes. If she wants to ask something, no, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, you know, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me, remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that and I said,
Welcome back. We are still here chit-chatting. You don't want to know what we said while you were not watching. Should I tell?
I will tell them what
Please don't.
said.
Thank you.
No, why are you pushing it off?
We're digging right into the messages.
You're not going to shut me. I'll still do it. But go ahead.
That's how you know who your guy is.
No.
You only find a way to come
I'm
around
telling
the same
you.
topic. You're trying to run away
So
from.
we'll go first. Let's start taking the messages and get the
All right,
answers.
let
We'll
me
take the
quickly
first
say,
shot.
Let's go through the emails.
Okay.
Marcel, I don't know where you're writing from, but let's read the message all through. We get to find out. I humbly write and to thank the producers or discussants on the above topic that was aired on Wednesday, 30th of October. He says he watched it from his DSTV, NT International Channel 299. He took his time to promote 299 on DSTV. I had the opportunity to watch it with my South African male friends who came to have breakfast with me in my private home in Johannesburg, South Africa. Okay, he watched from South Africa. That's cool. In fact, we had to suspend the breakfast first.
Oh my word.
In order to follow each discussant's point of view. Our dear brother Chukuma said a lot on criteria for demanding if one is on the right track. That immediately spurred me to have a self-retrospect and to evaluate myself, and thank God I am on the right track. Well, I still don't know the topic yet. Unlike before now, I thought I was not making progress. I am married, blessed with kids, and attending best schools. I bought a house in South Africa. In Nigeria, my mother have been dragging me to come and build a house in my plot I bought, but I constantly told her I have to save a lot of money first. When Chukuma said one can start with 50,000 naira, exactly what my mother was telling me. Thank you to the team once again and to the producer of such a program. More of such topics should be discussed more often. Keep the good work. I am proud to be a Nigerian.
Wow.
All right, I guess that was when we talked about
Savings?
starting quite marrying and starting life early with as little as possible. And Chukuma made a whole lot of points. He said when he married, he had less than 100,000, and he was not daunted. In fact, he was checking his wife on top of a Okada. You know, maybe what we should do is to play back exactly what he said.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
There are three things that are very simple in life, and they are the most essential in life. The first is marriage. The second is training people in school. The third is building a house.
Okay.
These three things, you don't have any pressure on yourself. You put yourself on the kind of pressure you want to be on.
Okay.
There is no standard of marriage. High class, low class, middle class, whatever standard you want to do. People misunderstand the purpose. When you don't understand the purpose, that's why it looks as if you might start to build your house with 50,000 naira. You don't have a deadline on the day you finish your house. Now, when you put pressure on yourself is when you want to impress people that you finish building your house in 2 years. You might decide to marry. It's not compulsory that you go outside the world and invite everybody for your marriage. The marriage is between you and your wife and the families of both yourself and your wife. You must not go outside to go and hit and call everybody to come, and people want to please others, and that's why it looks like it's difficult.
So do you get married in 5 years, like you build your house in 5 years?
Why not?
How do you do
You
it?
can't take a decision to get married today. Move into your house with your wife. Now, you know, when we talk about marriage, if you go culturally, I'm from a place where the bride price is very high. But a lot of people have married without going through that exorbitant bride price. So you say cut your clothes according to your clothes size, not according to your size.
How much is your bride price?
No, we don't have it. I'm from
Just
Bise.
estimate.
Okay, let me tell you why. I'm from Bise. And
So
our
the
women,
Bise people
our women are wonderful
Of
women.
course, we are very expensive.
Our women are very wonderful, and we attach a lot of value on our women.
That's right.
And when the woman comes to your home, everything around you changes.
That's right.
They build your home. So you want to know more? You want to come and marry us?
Some happier women are like that too.
No, but the truth is this. The focus here is this. Men are scared because the ladies most times put that pressure or fear in them. You want to get married today, and they're giving you the kind of marriage. We have a lot of plastic marriages we want to replicate. We want to watch one Nollywood,
Bella Naija
something,
kind of
Bella
marriage.
Naija thing and Instagram stuff.
But
I want to replicate it in
can you
the
marry
home.
these days with
Okay, give us a point. What do you
100,000
think,
naira?
Hamilton?
Why not?
Hamilton, what do you think?
100,000.
Why not?
Hamilton.
Why are you not married?
Yes, answer us.
First of all, I have 4 years to go. I intend to get married at 40.
Really?
40.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
And secondly, there's a way
Why
I've,
40?
Okay, why 40?
Did you see the silence in the house?
Okay,
Wow.
why 40?
Yeah.
40
That's
is
late
because...
marriage, by the way.
It is.
Yes, it's because I did not start early enough.
Okay. When you say you didn't start early enough, what
Okay,
do you
he's speaking about himself.
I'm talking about myself personally. There are a lot of structures I need to put in place before that time. So
Sorry, I mean,
I've given myself
what are those structures?
okay, structures. First of all, I discovered myself, what I truly wanted to become. I grew up in the school of hard knocks, where people dictate and tell you what to do. Where today you are in one auntie's house, serving, and they promise you that you resume school in 3 months' time, and you are there for like 2 years and nothing happens.
Okay, are you picking one of the reasons that
Yeah,
caused
one of the
late
reasons.
marriage?
You understand?
Yes, are you picking it?
There's a lot to my decision, but trust me, I probably would just surprise anybody. But like I envisaged, in the next 4 years, everything should be in place because I don't like to surprise myself.
Okay, let me say this for the benefit of yourself and our viewers. You don't need to put all structures in place. I wanted to know the structures you talked about. I started thinking about marriage when I was in year 2, year 3. One of my topmost priorities was getting married.
My wife will not trek.
No. Did you see that? Did you see that?
like that.
Did you see your word? Your wife will not do what?
Will not trek.
Your wife will not trek.
I've stayed with people and I see how going for an antenatal is difficult.
Okay, now this is, sorry Hamilton, this is, a lot of people are in Hamilton's shoes.
Yes.
That's why we are discussing
Yes.
it. Now I'm not particularizing it to you. Now I'm speaking for the viewers' interest. Your wife will not trek. It's a self-inflicted burden.
Yes.
I married my wife. I'll give you a story.
You said something.
Sorry, I'll give you a story.
Now. Sorry, let me quickly cut you on this. You said something. You said you want to live your best life and also give your best. This is me taking my.
Okay, now
we discussed it before.
Let me explain to you. When I was about to get married to my wife, I did not have anything. My salary then was 30-something thousand. Ours was that. It wasn't anything to go. That was at the boom time of the banking era, where my mates were earning 150,000-200,000. So you shouldn't just think about it. The guys I had as friends then were all with Toyota Camry, Toyota this, Toyota that. They were going for their vacation. I was squatting in a house when I proposed to my wife.
Okay.
Now I'm coming. I went to my mother-in-law's place. She told her daughter that how can, my wife is the last, how can after training her daughter, somebody without a car will come and marry the daughter, jokingly. So when I was going to marry their house, I used Okada. She said I should stop at the junction. She sent her driver to come and pick me. When I got to her house, I told her, Mama, you will see car in this house, you tire. And that was the last time I went with Okada into the house. You grew. Most times, I remember what my one-time MD told me. He's a Muslim. When I was about to get married, he told me, he said, he calls me Haka. He said, Haka, you should know that you're taking the right decision. He said, when you are about to marry, he said the Muslims believe that the wealth of a man is in the wife he is about to marry. That when you bring your wife home, God's blessings on your wife will rub off on you. And it is the same thing in the Christian. He that finds a wife finds a good thing, obtains favor. When you do the preparation thing and want to get married when you are prepared, you might be delaying it. You have to find the person that suits your dream and vision, run the race with her.
Right now to another message, Suleiman.
Yes, let me see. Okay, like Mr. Chukuma. Sorry, I like Mr. Chukuma. He's very right with his perspective to the issue of on migration. I think it has to do with
The way we
irregular
discuss migration.
migration. Our government and elites in politics are so insensitive to the issues of migration. Well, but I know that a lot has been said about the need to curb this menace in our society. Of course, there's nothing wrong for you to, want a greener pasture in outside the shores of Nigeria, but you have to do it legally.
The right way.
And a lot of times we have things that you can actually do in Nigeria. You don't really need to travel.
Exactly. Sometimes we talk about greener pasture. How green is the green out there?
The grass is always greener on the other side until you get there. And you wonder, what did I thought I saw.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take its pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh,
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
Yes. If she wants to ask something, no, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me, remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that and I said,
Right, now this particular message is from Chidi. Chidi is talking about, let me just read it out. He said, "Good day, sir. I was opportune to watch Conversations on NTA minutes ago. I'm impressed by the program. Please, I humbly request for the contact of Mr. Francis Okumagba, one of the conversants on the program." Well, thank you. Mr. Francis Okumagba happens to be an investment expert, I think, right?
Yes.
And he was on the show sometime. He must have said something that tickled your fancy.
Oh, Francis told us that there is money on the roads.
You just don't see it, right?
That there is money on the streets of Abuja. In fact, on the streets of Nigeria. And all you needed to do is bend down and you pick it. And I can bet you, let's hear what he said in his exact words.
So there's so many people out there. Some of them are already in paid employment, but it's not enough. They need to get or make a bit more money. Where do you come in, Mr. Francis?
Money flows in the streets of Nigeria. Nigerians are not picking it.
I don't believe you.
You don't need a dime to start a business. Most of the businesses you have out there, you can actually start with little or nothing. We need to reorientate the minds of a lot of our people. When we have the largest number of people who are jobless are the people who are not doing anything at all.
Okay.
People that are already doing are entrepreneurs, and that's helping them to do better.
Okay.
But the major chunk of people that we have are people that are doing nothing. We used to have role models in those days who are very hardworking, and people look up to them, and everybody wants to be like them. We got to a situation in our lives when we now have role models who don't do anything, and people want to emulate them. So you have a lot of young people who have killed their credibility. Our education system too does not allow for people to get exposed to how wealth is created. They go read different professions and all that, and they can't apply most of those things because of the way the education system is. Okay. Money is in the streets of Nigeria. You can start most businesses without nothing. I'll give you 3 examples that will show you very clearly how you can make 1 million naira a month employing people. The employment market is the biggest market we have in Nigeria today. There is no notice you put out there that somebody will not apply for a job. Can I tell you I can employ somebody and make 1 million naira a month?
Tell me.
If I put a notice that I want to employ a lawyer, for example, with due respect, and I'm willing to pay 100,000 naira a month, so many people apply for the job.
if I pick the best among them and I lock him up in a room and I tell him all you'll be doing in this office is write agreements, and I go on to announce in 5 churches and the National Mosque that anybody that wants to write any form of agreement should come to my office. I charge just 20,000 naira. I'll be overwhelmed with the demand. And if I get 100 people come to me, how many people do I need to pay the salary of that lawyer?
Just 5.
5 people?
Yeah.
Am I a lawyer?
No.
Did I invest any money? No. You can employ a house girl, for instance. Pay the house girl a 10,000 naira salary. Pick the one that knows how to do the braids that you have on your head and put her in your sitting room and announce to people in your area that you do hair for children. Do you need 1 naira to start that business? No. You can imagine if we translate educating people on how to employ people and put them to use. We'll be able to take a lot of people who will take the initiative and go out and start employing people. And if you put a multiplier effect on that, you can imagine the number of people that will leave the streets. Now let me go into very simple things, how you can create wealth. Do you know today you can open a shop without 1 naira in your pocket? You don't need a dime to open a shop.
Shops are expensive.
I'm telling you, shops are expensive if you look at the end result. Starting a business is not looking at the end result. It's not looking at renting a place. It's not looking at stocking a shop. It's not looking at getting people that work there. It's not getting a generator. It's not getting diesel. You have a lot of overheads. If you can be trusted, if you incorporate the habit, the wealth creating habit, and you're able to present yourself well, there are a lot of people who have things to sell, who import things into Abuja.
Yeah.
Go and negotiate with 5 major players. That's what they do in the market. Most of these Igbo people in the market. You see them, they run to you and tell you, I know where you can buy it cheaper. They take it to an importer who sells to you. And they do that for about 6 months, selling for about 5 importers. And after selling for about 6 months, the profit they make on the spread they get on the monies that people pay for what they sell is enough for them to rent a shop. And when you rent the shop, having created 6 months of credibility, those guys will give you sample things that you put in the shop. And you have a shop. Now let me tell you one other thing. Your shoes. A lot of young people these days take selfie, they go Instagram and all that. Do you know you can take the picture of your shoes and get someone that sells shoes, get about 5 of them, take the pictures of the shoes. Don't get to rent a shop. When you get the shoes, get the pricing, add your little spread on it, and put it on Instagram. And put your phone number there. Do you need 1 naira to start that business?
No.
You can pick up any item to start that business. So money flows in the streets of Nigeria.
I'm going to go right to the next message. It's from Jubrim Hussein. It says, good morning. It was an awesome program you had this morning. The guests were all wonderful. Thank you. Please, will it be okay to furnish me with the details of Dr. Chidi? Surely we'll love to see him for a pending health issue. Thank you and God bless. Absolutely. I'm almost sure we've done that already.
Yes.
And you are not discussing health issues anymore. But if that's not done, definitely you get the contact,
You will definitely
right?
send him the contact. But I know Dr. Chidi talked about infertility and fertility in both male and female. I recall when it was going on air, Suleiman got caught up with the issue of your phone in your pocket.
And
how it affects
there are some things we do a lot of times as we don't even think about it, but there are always medical explanations to these things, and then once this thing is being said by the expert, the onus is on you to just be careful and do the needful.
Maybe just as a reminder, I'll play back a bit of that for them to see. It's really important to be careful, with your gadgets, especially if you're still planning to form your own local government. But let's hear this.
The causes of infertility is 50-50 for the man and the woman.
Somebody actually said it's 70-30.
No.
The men 70.
No, it's 50-50. And it's been found out that actually the sperm count of men are declining as from one generation to the other. So men, as we are now, are not as fertile as they used to be 50 years ago.
Why
and
is
it's
that
because
so?
of lifestyle.
Okay.
It's because of lifestyle, it's because of stress. Remember, stress, everybody wants to make money. It's because of smoking, alcohol, and then mobile phone in your pocket. That decreases sperm count by 8%. So when you see people carry mobile phone in their pocket, and then when the mobile phone rings, it sets up even more radiation on this on the testicles. And then you find out that what we do, I mean, I've seen so many couples. The man comes with sperm count. Is it one of the man can have a normal sperm count, but the sperms are actually not viable. They cannot pregnant a woman. Many men have absolutely no sperm. Do you know what? It's because when they were small, they had mumps. And these mumps actually goes to eat up the sperm producing cells.
Wow.
Overseas, if a child has mumps, you have to warn the parents. If the man grows up and find out that he was not warned, you know, he can sue the hell out of the health system. But many of our men who had mumps as children are unable to produce sperm cells.
The regular moms we have.
Yes, and then you ask them to go and do tests. They go behind, do tests secretly, and then they will tell them they have no sperm. And then they will be blaming the woman, and the woman will be stressed out. The society will be looking on the woman. You know, so it's a big problem. We know that the commonest cause of blocked fallopian tube is infection. Sometimes there's something we call chlamydia. Everybody in this country must hear this chlamydia. Chlamydia is one infection that people have. They go around and they doesn't even cause any symptoms. But actually it goes in, blocks the fallopian tube of the woman. It goes into the man and eats up the sperm count. So it's not just gonorrhea. Gonorrhea is the one that a woman can have, it doesn't have symptoms, but the man has it and he has symptoms, it's painful.
So
but
the chlamydia has no...
Chlamydia has no symptoms. It's just scanty vaginal discharge on the woman. The person will just be going many years. He just continue to grow into the person's womb and then goes to the tube, causes inflammation, and then that inflammation now heals by what we call scarring, fibrous tissue. It blocks the tube. The tube is so tiny that any little inflammation just gets it blocked. So that a woman has blocked tube could be an innocent thing. You know, we know that people have had surgical procedures with unclean instruments, and then they introduce the infection, and then because of the quality of the antibiotics we have in this country, some of them are not as effective as they should be. So the woman has that, gets this infection, thought she has treated it with antibiotics, not knowing that the quality of the drug is actually inadequate. And then the infection just, you know, the bad infection that gives pain and waist pain and fever and discharge, the antibiotics goes and dampen it. And then it now continues to smolder without any, and this is the one that blocks tubes.
Now, doctor, there's another thing I heard, I don't know if it's true, that's wearing pants.
Yes.
To sleep?
Wearing pants
for the men.
Can affect...
For the men, yes. When men that wear nylon pants, you see the scrotum that produces sperm cells does not like heat. So when they wear nylon pants, the heat, including this mobile phone, kills the sperm cells. It might even render the sperm cells incompetent to pregnant a woman. So, but the thing is now, the latest research shows that even when they don't wear the nylon pad, if the damage is done, there is no remedy. There is no
reversal.
There is no guarantee that that could be reversed. So, wearing nylon pants does cause infertility in men. But even when it's discovered and they start wearing cotton pants or wear no pants at all, most times it doesn't work.
Would the nylon pants also affect the women?
No. The nylon pant doesn't affect women. It's because the scrotum where it is, God has actually put it in between the leg of the man, you know, to be cold. So anything that brings heat in that place, you know, kills the sperm producing cells.
I'm not sure there's this awareness.
Oh no, there is, but it's so poor. People don't know that.
Wow, That was really, really impactful. Welcome back again. And Suleiman, you have the next message?
Yes, let me see. I'm trying to, flip through them. Okay, this one, I think is still connected to the issue of fertility. They said, I am a strong fan of your TV program Conversations. I must say, I have been enjoying it so far. I try to watch it whenever I can, since I derive much knowledge and information from it. Luckily for me, I had the opportunity of watching the episode on fertility on, if I specific about the date, on the 7th of November 2018, which had Dr. Chidi Akbaka as one of your guests. The episode was a repeat anyway, because I had watched it earlier this year, but then it aired again and at the right time, because I was talking to a friend just a few days prior to its airing.
Wow. That's lovely. Good thing we played a bit of it back too. So we quickly take the one on male hygiene.
Right.
Since I want to ask
one issue.
Okay.
Okay, Suleiman.
Okay, no. Because after the program, you know what people do sometimes. Like
I received the most call for that and what women don't like about what
exactly.
Those two.
After each episode is aired, most especially those controversial episodes, they'll be looking out for Suleiman, you're part of the crew. Okay. So Suleiman, what are you going to do about it? You mean we're there when all this were said?
Suleiman, I'm beginning to think Suleiman actually ganged up with the men. When the men had to come back to do their thing in the studio. Because he was the presenter.
No. But then if you watch that episode, which I'm sure you did, you realize that we're just, saying
balanced it.
Not just to balance, but to say the right things that we're, missing in the women episode.
I beg. Okay. He says, I want to ask Dr. Jennifer, when are men going to do their conversation about female hygiene?
That's another thing.
Oh gosh.
That's
we did that
thing.
already. It was from the female, yes. It was from the female that we went to the men, but we didn't do it back to back.
No, I think what they meant is
for men to come and
talk about
and
it,
discuss about female hygiene.
To talk about it for men.
Suleiman, that you have a privilege of sitting with women does not mean this show is your own.
Well,
this is a woman's.
The good part of it, you cannot tell me to get out now.
At least not now.
Not now, until after the program. So I have the opportunity to say all I have to say.
Okay, let me finish reading it.
Okay.
Because it's very important. We men want to educate our women counterparts about hygiene. Women need to know what they are saying than men. They think more than the men. Mm-hmm. There is one of my neighbor. She has this terrifying smell from her armpits. When she passes in front of you, well, I'll go to that. So it is not only men. I bought a roll-on and body spray for her. I encourage her to be taking her bath 3 times a day. Women need to bath more than men. A man will never bath for 2 days, but he will not smell. Let a woman do the same for hours. She will smell. Chukuma is just sitting down there. He can't even defend the men.
You see what I'm saying? We see your opinion is biased. You're just looking for a way to get back.
But seriously, I don't understand that logic, that a man can, take 2 days.
Thank you for not understanding, because it cannot be understood.
I just want, your own opinion. How true is that?
Truth is, as long as, especially in this tropical climate, if you don't bath, male or female, our bodies produce oil.
You will ooze. Of course.
You will smell, definitely. From your shoes to your undergarments.
You started from shoes. Let's not go there.
Okay, fine. Please, let's not go there.
We know those who put their feet in socks and stuck it inside a shoe all day.
Let's not
and when
go
they
there.
take it off,
Okay,
let's not go there.
Okay.
All right, there's this message coming from Femi Olalekon Erujawa or Komolafe. He says this episode is about distant relationship.
Okay.
And he's saying a distant relationship is not advisable to some extent. There is a popular saying, nearest is the dearest. In a serious relationship between a man and a woman, communication is important, and all this social media communications may not really help. If Adam in the Bible was near to Eve, serpent wouldn't have had chance between them. All right.
Distant relationship.
Yes, distance relationship.
To another question,
Yeah.
just play it back a little bit for them.
All right.
Well, it's really quite difficult. It's very challenging and very straining on any relationship, on spouses as well as on the children. And it actually has some long-term damaging effects when both partners aren't together to raise the children as a couple, to give them this not only feeling of warmth and companionship and protection that they are with in a normal, typical family, but it affects children in the long run psychologically. We can go into that a little bit later, but how does one cope? How does one manage? Technology today has made things quite easy. I know my children were living out of the country at one point in school, and I had an opportunity, of course, to go through, or I went through the depression of anxiety of separation and so on. However, using technology, we were able to use Skype, FaceTime, and other mediums to be able to feel like we're together. So we chat every day, we see each other's faces, and I think for relationships, that's going to be very important. If you find yourself in a situation where it's inevitable that you have to be separated, maybe due to work or any other circumstances. So I think the technology has helped tremendously. If it's finding solutions, that is definitely one.
I don't know if Halima or Kevin, you have any stories of where...
No, actually, when she started, our introduction, I'm like, oh, really? But we're in the technological age. Why can't we deploy technology? And she just hits at it.
Yes.
Technology makes it quite easier. You won't actually feel the absence of the other partner because if you're... I often say, look, what's the most important is effective communication when it comes to relationship.
Yeah.
Your intentions should be clear as much as your actions are. Because if your intentions are not aligned with your actions, automatically it would create a strain. No matter the benefit with which you are being apart for, it will create a strain. Once it's effective, there's honesty, I bet you there'll be acceptance. And then what happens is adaptability, even for the children, because you can Skype at a particular time, they know they're expecting a Skype or a WhatsApp video these days comes up, or you have a Togo or Tango, all of this different media that is available for people to utilize. So once we can deploy that, if it's absolutely necessary for the parties to stay apart for the purpose of the good of the family, then why not the sacrifices and adapt to what is needed to be adapted. And then there's something I also add to that, which means that if you get to know your personality type before getting involved in a relationship, you can actually draw a balance and create the right incentives for the purpose of the distance that you will be. Although abuse is inevitable. Yeah, that's because of ineffective communication. If there's an effective communication, abuse will be minimal. You can actually have a successful relationship, staying apart for a short period or for a long period. Because there's always a time where you can actually have that reconciliatory position, where there's no, if we Skype every day, we talk every now and then, every 1 minute you know where the other person is, where he's going to, where she's going to. There's no way you can actually have that challenge. So we
If I may add, with regard to the question you asked is how do you cope, what do you do, find solutions. I think the relationship goes the communication goes beyond just talking. Obviously, your spouse has needs. Intimacy needs as well, and I think that's where this thing to do with suspicion comes into play. So obviously from the foundation, how you searched for your spouse, the kind of person you attracted, is this person who already has this as part of their character, and so most likely are more likely to do such things after they get married, extramarital affairs. But I remember when I was counseling a gentleman who had actually had an affair, and he said, and it was actually a long-distance relationship, and he said, man, no be wood. And this issue to do with loyalty from the get-go, how you establish the culture in the relationship is so critical. I know I've been married, actually, will be about 27 years this year in September. And the relationship my husband and I have built over so many years, and I travel a lot. So in as much as I'm not living out of the country for a long time, we do have to keep in touch and communicate and try and find effective ways of pleasing each other and making sure we keep each other top of our minds, so that so when we talked about my people who will be texting or sending you messages at work, we have our routines, my husband and I. Even at work, on a good day, on an average day, if I've not heard from him before the end of the day, I know something isn't right. He just sends me a message. He doesn't interrupt my work, and we do a lot of if I may use this word, sexting. But these are things that strengthen the relationship, makes you wanted and keeps anticipation for when you do get together. We're talking in a healthy relationship where the couples are loyal to one another. So ways to improve or strengthen and keep that bond still close and strong. In addition to using technology, these are the means of communicating.
Now, coming back, Rita.
Yes.
Do you really think that to stay apart can actually spoil it?
I think it depends on the parties involved. It depends. Of course, there is no denying the fact that being together is always the best in any relationship. But we do know that there are times when circumstances, could happen that would make one partner be away. So they have to find a way to make it work. It's not always easy. I don't think it's easy.
Exactly.
I don't think it's easy.
But Rita, proximity is very, very important. I tell you something. I recently met a lady from Ethiopia. Now, she's been dating a guy for a very long time, and then because she moved to another city, and then where she, presently works, there's this guy in her office who happens to be interested in her, and then, of course, one thing leads to another and all of that. Now, she's really in a fix. She doesn't know which direction to go. Why? Because this guy that is closer to her now tend to have more of her time, and she thinks more about that guy than the guy she's been with. So I don't know.
Oh, the question is, where was the relationship before she moved?
Yes.
Was there any commitment? Maybe not.
Even if there is commitment, I'm just saying proximity is very important.
Yeah, we agree.
I actually totally, agree with you. But then, I still believe that if the love is real,
yes,
like
distance will not be a barrier.
Dr. Lemu told us, if you water it, it won't go away. And then if you think you're going to go away for a very long time, I mean, body don't be wood now. Carry your wife, carry your husband.
Okay.
Okay. Let's move to another zone now. This message is from Irene. It reads, this cybercrime thing is real and very disturbing. A lecturer from Uni Greek recently suffered in the hands of these heinous criminals. She bought a phone from OG Winners and it had an issue, and she took it back to them to fix it, which they did and returned it to her. After that, when she went to the market and trying to buy something, she noticed money was being transferred.
Wow.
From her account. Like Joko, her account was cleared.
Jesus.
Meanwhile, she was planning her daughter's wedding. Oh my goodness. It affected the wedding. Until now, the police have not been able to trace the scammers.
That's a real bad one.
Yeah.
That's when we talked about the cybercrime. The Yahoo boys and the girls and all that. I mean, why do people really want to do that? You tell me you're not a murderer. I know someone who died, of heart attack because of something like that.
Yeah.
So who killed the guy?
Can be traumatizing.
No, who killed the person?
The lesson every listener should take home is, one, if you can't do without nude videos, it's encouraged that you do a backup so that you can remove it from devices that would expose you. Because there are people who do it out of hobby. If you know you can't control such hobby, have a backup device at home so that you could keep it safe and far from those who could use it outside. Secondly, if you are having, for us parents, we should also try to educate our children on the disadvantage of this gang up and devices that are going on about making it so quick and getting rich, getting things that are not supposed to be ours, so that we'll know who their friends are. We'll know what they interact with their friends, and try to give them audience to also speak to us, so that we'll be able to counsel them.
Yes.
Then for our parents or the aged at home, it's also important that you manage to keep your cards very safe. If you're not too very good with the online banking transactions and everything, don't get involved.
Okay,
Exactly.
Rita, a last word from you.
Stay safe. Some people have the habit of saving their passwords in their phone and different places. I don't do that. Because people can easily, if you can't memorize it, don't use it as a password. That's my own advice, personally. And one thing I've taken away from the program today is, don't put an account that has so much money online or in your on your card anyway. So I think we should all do that. Have that account that doesn't have so much money, but that's the one you're using, with your card. And just generally be careful whatever you do online.
Great. Anobom.
So for me, with cybercrime, I would like to say, if you are doing that right now and you think you justify yourself by saying, oh, my mom, my parents, they did this to them, they did that to them, just know that your conscience is doing you injustice. You're doing the wrong thing. All right, cybercrime has never been the answer. You'll never be the answer. And in case, let me shock you, when you guys discredit the Nigerian government and the EFCC, you'll be shocked. They actually do know their job. They know what they're doing. They will come for you. They will
Might
get
not
you.
be today.
So stop it this minute. It is wrong. Do not encourage yourself. Don't encourage your friends. And if you are doing rituals and all those vices to try and blow, Mercedes, the value of Mercedes today
Yahoo Plus
is not going to be the same value tomorrow. So please, 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 and please.
See a final word from you.
Well, to all the fraudsters, cybercrime individuals that feel like, oh, because you've taken somebody's worth, somebody's whole life savings, that you're going to enjoy your life. There's something called karma, and it never fails to come back around. It might, and when it comes back around, I have noticed karma comes back 10, 20 times harder. So that money that you've gathered from that poor old woman that has worked her whole life to save this up and has retired, and you take it, and you never know, that's your mother that is dying, might not just be natural death. It could be act of karma. That's a car accident that you keep getting into. That's karma coming to bite you. And for all the people that feel like they're standing up for this and allowing it to happen, and like I said earlier, Auntie, bring your account. Let us help you. Let us give it to some Yahoo. Let's see how it feels. Because it's easy for you to sit down and talk. But when it happens to you, the thing they burn and they pepper. It has happened to me,
You
so I
can't
know the feeling.
walk a mile in the other person's
exactly.
shoes, yeah.
Be wise. Don't do to others what you would not want others to do to you.
People need to be cyber safe. You need to be very conscious of your safety when you're on the internet. Don't put your password out. As a matter of fact, don't save your password on your phone. There's a possibility that person had the password saved on their phone, and that exactly.
You sincerely used to do that because I don't want to forget. I save my password in my phone so that I don't forget.
No, but even if you have to do that, I think you should do it. Like Rita has a lovely afro, And by the way, what's the name of your weave on? I like it.
Okay, now we are coming back to that
conversation. Got there eventually. It's my hair. It is all mine. This is Queen Rita weave on. It's all mine.
And a lot of people are making money out of this now.
Not for sale.
Okay, and talking about that, we have another message here.
And sell it.
This one is coming from, it says, good day, my name is Stanford, a Zimbabwean living in Cape Town, South Africa. I was helped by your program, which you were talking about unemployment. I learned a lot. I will be very happy if you can link me up with the panel which was on your discussion today. I didn't see their names properly. Okay, where am I? Okay. I want to get more advice from them. Me and myself, me and my wife, wish to start our own business. So the ideas will definitely help us so much. I'm very good at making coffees, and my wife is very good at hairdressing. You see what I'm saying?
Whoa.
But somehow I guess we are lacking in ideas which can help us do our thing, especially back in Zimbabwe one day. So maybe you can just link up. I'm sure they're talking about Mr. Francis.
Mr. Francis. But then what I tell people is find out what works in your environment. If it's the natural hair, find out what people really like, and don't start aiming big. I mean, if I want to start hair making business, I'm not going to cut your hair, by the way. Like I promise.
Thank you.
I'll probably find out how much are people charging, the regular people. If it's 500 naira, I want to start with 250 so that I get enough customers, because I don't believe there's something we say in my place. I'm going to say it in my language, dialect proper. Okuru da dakekba.
Okay.
But
Okay,
again, it depends on your strategy. I, for instance, will not do that. I would rather give you extra value. I would charge the same 500, but give you more than what these other persons give to you.
It all depends.
Perhaps I can say, if you do your hair here, I will make your nails for free.
Okay.
For instance, right?
Okay.
So you're getting extra.
It's
because
still
sometimes
the same thing, because
when
the
it's
cost
cheap,
of
people
making
don't
the
value
nail-
it.
No, the cost of making that nail now, you have actually transferred to the hair, so it still comes back to the same thing. Some will say, like I tell people, open up your own salon. Put a little bit of sweets, gum.
Exactly.
Gum. People know that they're going to come to your place when they're
offer
hungry.
tea.
When they're hungry, and have a cup of tea. Okay.
That would get me. My hairdresser knows that.
Our time up.
Yes.
Time up.
Yes, Suleiman. You're here today. You don't know time is going. When you're on the other side, guys.
Yes,
Suleiman.
that happens a lot of time.
Time up, people. It's so interesting. 1 hour has flown just like that. When you're having an interesting conversation, like we said, a conversation is never complete without you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for sending all the feedback, and a big thank you to the behind the camera guys who came on set today. Well, she's on and off. Suleiman is almost never seen in front of the camera.
How do they do it again when you're on the as a beauty queen? It's like this, right?
No, is it the Germans that do bye this way? Beauty queens?
No,
I don't even want any of that. Bye-bye.
I was confused as you are. Bye, we'll see you again on that edition of the program. My name is Rita. Thank